Hello, and welcome to the Hopecast with Rachael Flick. Rachael is a speaker, counselor, and an overcomer. As Rachael is walking through her own journey of grief, she's challenging others to persevere and overcome their own circumstances. We pray that you will be encouraged by this podcast. Here now is your host, Rachael Flick.
Hi friend, welcome back to this week's episode of the Hopecast with Rachael Flick. Today I'm bringing you part 2 of my interview with my friend Kindra, and we've been catching up on her major transition of her move to Kansas and just what compounding stress looks like and how she has handled that and managed that. And she wants to share some of the things that she's used for coping and some of the things that it has taken a toll on, just for the people who can really understand what it looks like to have multiple heavy stressors in your life. And how do you come forward in resilience and not be crushed by overwhelm and stress and dread? Because I just see that so prevalently in our culture and our society today. And I think that COVID has really pushed us to the brink in many of our lives and has cost us people that we loved and cultural norms that made us feel safe or comfortable. And we are experiencing, I'm just hearing a lot of my friends saying, like, I'm drowning, I can't do this. And I felt like that even in the last couple of weeks with Chantel's heart attack and everything that has been going on in my family. And I think I've told you guys that I've become my dad's guardian with his advanced early onset Alzheimer's. And so I have a lot of these stackable stressors like Kindra does too. And so I think a lot of people listening, I think you guys can relate to this and just hearing the toll that it does take on you. And that's kind of where we were finishing the last episode last week, was just Kindra saying, but wait, like, yes, like the house looked amazing for the birthday party 1 week after we moved in, but wait. So Kindra, thank you so much for being here on this episode. I love that we get to share our conversation with the listeners.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me and allowing your listeners to get a glimpse into messy stories that hopefully give hope and give thoughts of like, oh, I would not do that, or that is a great idea, or look at that, we've been thinking of moving home. You know, we actually weren't total oddballs. I think we were maybe like the fourth or fifth family, like in our circle, like extended circle of friends amongst church, who just said the Lord's calling us home, like home to where we grew up. And so there was such confidence, like I said in the last episode, of our decision to go or to come here to Kansas. And in that, still, it was really hard. And there were places that we were stretched and decisions we had to make that were just, I'm still kind of reeling from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you told us last week that, you know, things were compounded and you didn't necessarily address them as they came along, these major life stressors. And then you put really high expectations on yourself, and you, you know, saw a lot of Joanna Gaines visions out here.
I did.
Which Joe, you're pretty great if you're listening. I hope you're
amazing.
Listening. Yes.
And if she wanted to come and like do my house, that would also be amazing.
Oh my goodness. You're invited, Joe.
Right?
Please come.
100%.
Share this episode with Joanna Gaines.
Yes.
So I think you were kind of rolling into the fantasy of transition and change and excitement versus some of the reality and the realization of grief and loss of the life that you had been living.
Yes.
And where we left off was Caleb's birthday, which was within the week of you moving to Kansas. And I got to come, and
it was so sweet. I loved that.
It was really great to get to see you in your new space. It really helped my heart in that sense of your transition and our friendship. And so, but I remember your family coming in and being like, only Kindra would move in and host a party, and it looks like she has her house pulled together in a week. So
be careful. Wonder what that girl's like at night when everybody leaves and it's time to go to bed. I'm going to actually back up a little bit and give a very non-professional opinion on society at large of the last couple of years. I'm not any kind of certified anything other than a music teacher that didn't keep my license up. So like, I'm just prefacing that. This is just my overarching opinion that the world as a whole, and especially American society, because of the insanity of pace that we keep on the daily, which is normal. And if you don't do that, you're lazy. We have been in fight or flight from this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And when your body is in a chronic state of adrenaline, by fear, by worry, by am I going to get sick and die tomorrow? Is my mom going to get sick and die? You know, all of the things that have happened. And those of us who did get sick and have had just weird like nervous system stuff since then, I've heard story after story of that. Our bodies have not rested collectively in a really long time. And I foresee that there is going to be a lot of studies being done on the effects of chronic stress due to fear, due to the pandemic environment that we have yet to see what's coming. So I would just encourage anybody who is listening, because we've all been affected by COVID in some way, to acknowledge if you have been fearful, if this has been stressful, huge life disruptions. I mean, how many of us had kids at home for months, husbands working from home, we're working from home, you're working full time, trying to manage kids. I distinctly remember a moment I'm leaning over my first grader's used laptop that he was borrowing for school because he couldn't get on Microsoft Teams again. And I'm nursing my daughter for like the 75th time that day. And his whole class got a shot of my uncovered chest. And I was like, well, here it is. Right. And then my husband, like sweet man trying to do his work, he's like, can you guys just keep it down during the day? Sure. Yep. E-learning, a third grader and a first grader and nursing a baby all day. Absolutely. So just acknowledging like that season that no matter who you are, where you live, what your job is, if you have kids, if you're a mom, if you're not, if you're a guy, whatever, like it was hard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just hard, like, well, you know, what we were talking about in the last episode last week, well, I didn't lose anyone close to me. Like no one I knew died. So I don't get to say that that was hard for me is complete baloney.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Kansas term for you. We need to acknowledge that it was chronic stress for months upon months upon months. And your body is not meant to think it's being chased by a bear for months upon months upon months.
That's
and
right.
it does some damage. Not irreversible, but it does some damage. So instead of just sitting back and taking a breath and relaxing and really saying, is this the time to do this thing that we know the Lord is calling us to do? We knew he was calling us, but is this the time? We decided, no, we're jumping off the deep end and we're doing it now. We're going to bank on the adrenaline that we have and just keep going. So adrenaline's amazing. Our bodies are incredible. You ask them to push and push and push, and they will respond in tow for a long time until they don't anymore.
That's a pretty painful wall.
It is a hard wall that my friend got a text of a picture of me in the emergency room after a fainting episode at a Mannheim Steamroller concert at Christmas with all of my extended family. And they took my blood pressure, and it was a number that if I said on here, like would be horrifying.
You'd be ashamed. So
I would be ashamed of the blood pressure that I caused in my own body. So I was at the ER, and, you know, they thought I was dying, and it turned out I wasn't at all dying. My blood work came back. They're like, oh, everything's green. That never happens. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And my sweet friend is like, do you think you're tapped out? You think you're done? I was like, no, it's Christmas. I can't be tapped out. I have to do all the things. And Elf on the Shelf has to move tonight. You know, like
freaking Elf.
Rachel and I, we're an odd pair to be best friends. Because all of the things that I do, she does not. And all of the things that she does, I typically do not. So it's funny to
like Elf on the
like
Shelf,
Elf
for
on the
instance.
Shelf.
I am allergic to Elf on the Shelf.
I threaten her every year that I'm going to give one to her children for Christmas. And she says, we can't be friends anymore if I do that. So I ignored physical symptoms of adrenal fatigue, of adrenaline overload, of chronic anxiety that I was masking with food, with shows, with a second glass of wine at night with isolation. You know, my mom is like, you need to go out and meet people. And I'm like, I have to get my house set up and take care of my kids, and my husband's not here, and blah, blah, whatever. Get routines in place and all the things. And there was like so much to do, like learn new schools and learn all the things for myself as well. I didn't take a break from school. I did summer classes and I went into fall classes and just kept it going. But our bodies, they will speak to us, and we can listen to them, and we can give them rest and what they need. Or we can keep telling them to push, and we can crack the whip, and we can make them keep performing, and they will until they can't. And so that panic attack that sent me to the hospital, really like a nervous breakdown. I remember laying there in the hospital thinking, if they could only find something that isn't like life-threatening, but maybe was like contagious, so nobody could come and talk to me, and I could be admitted.
You were starting
for like
the
a couple
fantasy,
weeks.
the mom
I was
fantasy of the
fantasizing
hospital.
about a hospital stay. You know it's bad when you're like, I want to stay. I want to be here with you. I want everyone to go home, and I want to be here.
Give me
and
the
be
good
fed
stuff. Put me
and
to
give
sleep.
warming blankets. And yeah, and I'm like, oh no, I got to get on top of this. Well, I ignored that. And I was like, you know what? They told me I'm fine. They said I was fine. So a little blood pressure, whatever. It's fine. Everybody faints at a concert at some point. And I remember they're like, what kind of concert was it? I was like, oh, it wasn't like a rave. It was like classical music concert. I remember telling the doctor that, and she's like, oh, okay. I have a different perspective of what that concert was now. So
she's like crowd surfing, passing out.
Nope. It was the violin solo, and I passed out. It doesn't make sense. So I want to encourage everyone that when you have been in such a chronic state of stress and of pushing and pushing and pushing, like a little bit of like disintegration, I don't think is that abnormal. I was thinking like, I'm great. I feel good. This is wonderful. Everything's going fine. And your body's like, I'm melting. And they don't line up. That is not abnormal, but it is not healthy. And so don't do what I did and just keep pushing, because then it was Christmas, and then it was New Year's, and I had a trip planned with another friend, and then I had a new semester starting with really hard classes. My husband did come home permanently at the end of the year, which was a gift. But then also, like, how do we integrate this guy into our life? It was not this guy. He's my husband. He's my children's father. He owns this home with me. But it felt like we had set up this
almost like
space.
a military deployment.
Yeah.
Where you have to function
and like now
without
he's
him.
here, and like we have to work on like, how do we integrate? So I'm like, well, new routines. I'll figure out new things. I'll get our family calendar. I'll do this, and this. My breaking point came when I nearly went to the hospital again at the end of this spring semester. And the Lord was gracious, and he was tender with me, and he led me through a panic attack that lasted almost 8 hours. Miserable. It was horrible. And I didn't hear an audible voice, but I clearly felt the impression of him saying, may I please have your attention? And I thought, well, I mean, yeah, obviously you have it. I'm like, please, can I go to sleep? Like, this has been really hard tonight. I need to go to bed. He's like, we need to heal you. I'm like, I take walks sometimes with the dog and the stroller and the screaming toddler who no longer wants to be in the stroller.
She told me today, I just got an Apple Watch, and it talks to me, and it chastises me, and it tells me things that I should be doing when I'm not doing them. And hers told her that she needed to get up and move around a little bit. And she told that watch where to go. She's like, I move regularly on the hour. Thank you.
No, thank you for my Apple Watch shaming that I continue to wear. I mean, let's be honest, but I remember it used to tell me that when I was nursing, like, you haven't moved in a while. I'm like, I'm sustaining a human. Leave me alone. And when Rachel asked me to do this podcast with her, I thought, wow, this is super raw. And this is not like done and tied with a bow. And I love bows. I love things to be done and packaged. And I learned these lessons, and let me share this with you. But this is not that. This is, I'm in the middle. This is, I just started therapy 3 weeks ago. And I know therapy, all of the deterrents, I get it. The cost, the time, the what's going to come out. And I have to say that the fact that my husband was, I 100% think that would be a good thing for you. Like, Rachel knows this.
That's
like,
a marker.
That's a marker.
That's
like,
not a normal
if my
Patrick
husband
statement.
who's like, oh yeah, everything's good, is like, you need therapy. I agree. Like, things have gotten hard. So I'm in the middle of it. As I told her, I am learning how to rest in a meaningful way. I'm learning to say no to the pursuit of perfection in a new place. I am learning to say, I can plant seeds and know that the Lord is going to water those seeds, and he's going to give them sunshine, and he's going to give them nourishment, and they will sprout and they will grow and they will bloom when they need to. I had this expectation that everything would just get into place so much quicker than was realistic. And that was stressful to me, that I couldn't make it happen faster than I thought I should be able to do. So now we're kind of picking up the pieces, and the things that I would think I'm talking about in therapy are not the things that we're talking about. And the Lord is so tender in his healing and what he picks out to focus on, that I think has a snowball effect, that once we deal with some things that he brings to the surface, it's amazing what other things almost just fall to the wayside. The stressors have built on each other. So if you can get rid of the big one at the bottom, whatever that might be for me or for you, then other things fall into their rightful place of importance and priority, and of getting your attention in a season of transition.
Yeah, I think that one thing I know about you is that you like for things to be, you have checklists, and you have you like bows, and you like for things to be sequential, and there's a lot about life that doesn't fit that structure, and everything that you've gone through has not necessarily fit neatly in a container from the Container Store, right? That's like the perfectly shaped.
Such a beautiful
I
store.
love that store.
Yeah.
But
we digress.
We digress. I know. I love to spend time in there. I'm like, what could I organize with this box? Like 100%. Buy the box and then find the things to go in it.
I just love to fill in the box that you got at the Container Store.
Exactly. Yeah. So therapy is not neat and tidy. It's messy and it ebbs and flows. And I know that you've expressed to me a few times that you're like, so I went on that walk and I talked to my therapist. So like, I'm better now, right?
I'm good.
Like, I'm better now. Can you speak to that about, I just know that you're not the only person who puts pressure on yourself to have it together, to be better now, to be expecting results really quickly. We do have, TikTok has made our attention spans even shorter. And, we talk about like being microwave or an Instapot, like we like for things to be expedited.
Yeah.
And we get used to that. And there's a lot of things that do move quickly in our society, and we're both blessed and victimized by that stuff in culture. But the soul can't be hurried, and our relationship with the Lord isn't, he's just not interested in rushing it. Like I've seen that over and over with him.
We always think he's late. Like we always do.
Yeah.
And he's never late. Like his timing is perfect. But how often are we like, come on, hello, Lord. Like we always think that his timing is not right until we see that it is, until we see that it was perfection. Whenever his answer, his blessing, his trial, his lesson happens. And, I felt like as the parent in the home through this transition, I needed to be super strong. Like I didn't want my kids to see me cry. I didn't want them to see me struggle or waver. And then they would second guess their dad and I's choice to move them. that would cause instability. And there were some things about my upbringing that were unstable. And I have, since the Lord has shown me that I made a vow, like I will do everything in my power to keep instability away from my children. Yet he gave my husband and I kind of an adventurous, like, wanderlust spirit a little bit of, now he's like talking about Alaska. I'm like, hold on, dude. Like, let me do my therapy and get through the Kansas move before we talk about Alaska.
I have to do the farm first.
The farm can't happen in Alaska. It's too cold. I have to learn how to do it here. Yeah, but I'm too busy, clean, like the normal things of life. Like it all happens of, the kids are in school and now the baby's down for a nap and the dog pukes everywhere. It's like stuff like that. I'm like, I was going to watch YouTubes about canning today and now I'm doing this. Like the grace that we need to give ourselves in seasons of transition is like so exponentially more than you think you need to give yourselves. And may I encourage you to let your children see you cry, because if you don't ever cry, and I'm talking like months and months and months, years go by, when you do have breakdowns, like I've had a couple, and that's not too strong of a word these last few months, they think you're completely wackadoodle. Yeah. And they're asking me like, is daddy moving out forever? And we're like, what? No, like that's not even the line of thought we're on. Yeah. They're like, you wouldn't cry this much unless someone died or daddy was leaving. And I'm like, no, I'm full. I'm full of feelings and they need to come out. And they looked at me like I had 3 heads. I'm like, I don't want them to feel this
Mom
way.
has feelings.
Yeah.
She always takes care of our feelings.
Right. She takes care. She shouldn't have feelings. So that was not a good thing for me to be like, I will be the strong parent and they will not see me cry. And I will always speak highly of everything all the time because this was the right decision. You know what? It's okay to say, guys, this was the right decision. This is way stinking harder than we thought it was going to be. I miss your dad. We thought this was a good financial move for him to stay behind for a few months. And this was maybe not the best move. And this was hard on all of us. Not the best move to Kansas, but for him to stay. So I would encourage more conversation with your kids, age appropriate, of what they're ready to have. I would also encourage you to listen to the wise women in your life. One of our mutual mentors, when we were preparing for this move, she said, just remember, it takes at least a year to have any kind of feeling of I'm established in my new place, and more like 2. And I remember thinking, I'm going to beat that. Like, who does that? Like, what? I mean,
I did it with Micah's death. I was like, I will be the bestest griever ever, and this will not come over my life, and I will not be taken by it.
I'm going to get a gold star for this move. Like, I'm going to move the crap out of this move. Like, I'm going to do amazing so that nobody second guesses that we made the wrong decision. Right? Like I needed to prove that this was going to be so amazing that when they thought we were crazy, because anytime we say, oh, we used to live in Colorado, people in Kansas are like, why are you here?
She's had a couple people who she connected with who then were like, well, but we're moving to Colorado.
I know. And I really liked them. And I was like, dang it. I thought I was going to be your friend and now you're moving. But I just wish I'd listened to her and really taken that to heart, of given myself that time of a year or 2, which we're not even at that yet. Like July will be a year. So I'm so thankful though on what the Lord has done. We are established. The boys are in school and they're happy. I'm in school and I'm happy. We have a great church. I am in a moms in prayer group where I have these amazing ladies who love Jesus and who love praying, and they're moms. I mean, check the boxes, right? Like they're fantastic, but really intimate, sweet friendships that you do life, like the hard and the good with, those take so much time, so much longer than we realize. Those are not instant pot relationships. And as a woman who craves relationship and community, that has taken a much bigger toll on me of just not having that, and not for anyone's fault. It's just time. It takes time to build that with people.
Yeah. I mean, I met you and Caleb was about 6 months old. And I mean, we've built this relationship over 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and a dead guy, and a ministry.
Oh gosh, our dark humor is coming out, Rachel. I don't know if the Hopecast is ready.
I don't know. I think there might be a few people out there who can do some dark humor, but I will tell you that going through literal death, that has definitely increased the depth of our friendship. And
it knits your heart together when you're in the depths of despair.
I mean, she's absolutely seen me at my worst and my darkest and taken me to the ER a couple times. And
you've been frequent flyers the last few years.
I know.
Now that we say it out loud.
I know.
Right?
Well, I've heard that there's something about grief that it does manifest in your body. And
I feel like there's more episodes that could be devoted to that of the physical manifestation of the mental, and not manifestation in like a weird way, but like expression. I like that word better, of pain, of grief,
grief hurts.
Adrenaline. Grief hurts. And that is not like, oh, I'm sad. It is like
physical pain.
Literally my heart's going to explode. Like, what is that? And how does it not, how can I get better? And often it's not medicine. It's not a quick fix. It's rest. It's digging into things with the Lord. It's journaling. You guys, I'm journaling again. Like, I don't think I've journaled since I had a diary with a little key. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, as a little girl, that journaling is really powerful, of letting yourself just write whatever. And here I am talking like an expert. Guys, I've done it like 2 weeks, like, and maybe like 8 times. This is not me saying like, I'm going to teach a class on journaling.
This is an in-between. You're in the in-between.
I'm in the in-between.
And
but
that
it
is a really
very
hard,
freeing in this season
to
do it.
Yeah.
And it might be
journaling
helpful.
is really helpful. And I think it's a way to get out stuff where we might be stuck, to process things that we might not be aware of otherwise, that kind of come to us in that process. It's also the transfer of emotion. We literally relay what's going on inside of us into that paper, into that writing process. It transfers and transitions in the brain. We feel and experience it differently after we've written it down. I know that for me, writing a lot of my story for the book that I'm working on, I feel more put together or processed. Like, I feel like I've brought some kind of resolve to a really difficult place in my story by writing it down, and I understand it better. And I know things about myself that I wouldn't if I hadn't put words with it. And there truly is a thing about putting language to emotions that causes the brain to process those emotions differently. And so what you're saying is so scientifically backed with how to help yourself.
I've listened to all these podcasts, and my therapist suggested I start journaling. I'm like, well, I'm going to be the best journaler there was. Rachel teases me that I like desire a gold star for therapy. Like, I want my therapist to be like, oh, you did so good today. That is so not the point of therapy. Like, there's a lot to learn, like, in my life, clearly. As you listen to hopefully more interviews with me, you'll be like, that girl is really, she has a lot more to figure out, doesn't she? But and that's okay. I'm okay being in that place, and also recognizing my quirks that I have. And so as I've listened about this, there's this, what you're saying, like either typing it out or writing it out gives validity to our feelings. Because so often, like, I'm a really fast talker. Like, we say things and we forget what we've said, or, you know, we have to stop and think like, what was that? But if you write it, you can go back and read it or not. I haven't read most of what I've journaled. And then I thought, well, how do you journal, right? Like, I want someone to say, like, you do this and then you do this.
There's a correct way to heal.
Obviously.
And it's very timely and efficient.
I want to be efficient. I thrive on efficiency. And let me just tell your listeners, like, there is not, I mean, maybe there's an efficient way to heal, but I haven't figured it out yet. Like, each day I'm like, what are we going to heal today? And sometimes Jesus is like, you're going to go to the pool with your kids. I'm like, that's not doing any work right now. It's just the vacillating back and forth between doing healing work that he leads you in and playing and doing normal life and giving yourself, again, tons and tons and tons of grace. But just sitting down and picking a topic and starting to write and setting a timer, that's been helpful for me. And when it goes off, I know that I'm free to stop or I can keep going. And then I'm really starting to enjoy the rabbit trails the Lord takes me on in journaling. I'm like,
That's
I
an
did not know
amazing
we were
thing
going
for
to
her
get
to
into
say,
that
guys.
today, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't typically enjoy the rabbit trails, but
He's like, get it together, people.
right. We are in the middle of it. We are still confident. Like even still with all of the, like, we didn't even get into like the difficulty in selling our house and what should have been a market that was like off the chart easy.
Right.
It was a disaster to sell our house. It was really hard to buy this one. There were no U-Hauls. Like everyone was moving.
Everyone was moving. It was such a great idea. Everybody was doing
everybody, right? And my husband's like, oh, I'm just going to make like 27 trips back and forth because it's only a short 8 hours. And he's a frugal man. And we love that about him. And he didn't want to hire a moving company. Like I'm not kidding when I say this was like, it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. Like this was banana pants the last 9 months, but we still are like, yes, this was right. And there has been tenderness and there has been moments and there has been relationships started and cultivated. Like I'm watching build between my daughter and my dad that they wouldn't have had if we hadn't have come. I'm watching my husband have experiences with his father that they never had when he was younger. And it's beautiful to see happening. I'm connecting with my sisters-in-law in a different way, being here and being present. It just, there's more to come and I'm excited for that. But saying like, hey, I'm making a conscious effort for this to be my summer of healing. And would I love to put a bow on this on like the day the kids go to school and be like, I'm done.
She would love it.
I would love it. That is not what's going to happen. The Lord is leading me into new rhythms, which I'm just reminded that was my word of the year for 2022 in January. And so learning new rhythms of life, because transition is going to keep happening. It's probably not going to be a move every year, but we're in a tumultuous world, like pandemic or not, or the stock market or what, like pick a topic each day, the world of over information all the time. We are constantly exposed to the pain and suffering and sin that is just rampant in our world. And that we're also in an age where transition is relatively easy compared to generations before. And so I think having good tools to walk through these seasons well is really healthy and beneficial.
I hear which you guys, this is such massive growth, knowing my friend who loves bows and containers and faithfully moves Elfie every day in the holiday season when all of us are poking out our eyes with stress and trying to get everything done.
Guys, set an alarm on your phone. Like easy peasy. 9:30 p.m. every night it goes off.
I'm going to play this clip back to you this next year on the 17th of December when you have a cold and you're like, freaking elf, I got to move the elf tonight.
If you plan the activities ahead of time, you just have to move it. Our other friend, Sarah, our beautiful Australian friend who you guys would just melt at her voice. If she ever did a podcast with you, that would be awesome. She and I one year, like, wrote out on a little calendar that she printed out of what we were going to do with our elves. There are more of me out there, of weirdos.
I'm going to play this clip back to you in December. And to hear her, my friend, speaking of learning what it means to be okay in the ellipses, in the ... of life, in the in-between, in the undone. There is such great tension in the unknown and in the middle of the story. I don't know. I'm an 80s baby. And so we used to have the made for television series. And at the end of the night, it would say to be continued. And that was the worst feeling. Like now we have Netflix and we can just click to the next episode and binge the entire season and know what's going to happen in the story. And to have to go to bed and be like, oh my gosh, you left it at a cliffhanger. And just to live in that tension takes so much trust in the Lord and patience with ourselves. And I know that you are very much still in and on your journey with that and giving yourself grace, right? You talked a lot about giving yourself grace and you're still learning how to do that. And I saw it, as you prayed and prayed and prayed for baby Grace, right? Like her
Yes.
name is so sweet and perfect in that the Lord, there was a waiting for Grace, and you're in the waiting right now. You are in the space in between, and you are doing the work, and it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't.
And it would be way easier to just stuff that sucker down and pick up a new project.
Listen to another podcast on productivity. Like I could give you a full list of productivity podcasts and routines and how to do life.
So guys, you're hearing it.
Like how to unpack boxes in a strategic way. I'm not even joking you. Like the things I have researched and the amount of time, if I'd only put that into like processing my feelings. A nap? Even that. Yeah. Or like just acknowledging
having a cup of coffee,
feelings,
sitting
right?
down. Kindra doesn't sit down very often. I've noticed this. And she has a 2-year-old, but the girl does not sit down. So she's learning and she's working on it, and she's sharing her in between with you. And I will look forward to coming back to another conversation in the future and just seeing what God has done. And the thing is that we trust his character, and he is a healer.
Yeah.
He's a counselor.
He wants to heal. He wants to heal us, but often his way of healing is not our way. And he's going to take us through his way because his way is eternal, right? He's preparing us for our heavenly home, and to instantly fix something that we think we need gone, this angst, this stress, these racing panic attacks that I get. What would I have then to help love on his daughters who are experiencing these things in the future? I wouldn't have wisdom. Like I had been praying and praying for wisdom, and I feel like it's when you pray for patience. Like, don't pray for patience.
Watch out.
Yeah, right? But I just had this thought as we were sitting here that one of our biggest hopes in coming to Kansas was a simpler, more restful life. And it has felt insane since we got here. But by who's choosing, right? Like I choose not to sit down or I was, right? I'm sitting more. I'm sitting more. There is a sweetness, an ebb and flow to life in some of these smaller Midwestern towns that it's contagious. It's weird when you first get here. You're like, why are we not all rushing? Like I'm riding people's bumpers like on the country roads, and they're just like, we're just taking our time. And I mean, we're right by Kansas. Like, let's be like real. Like we're not too far from the big city, but there is a difference in the feel here that I desire to have that kind of rest in my spirit. But it is a process to learn. And I've read books on rest. I'm not kidding. I'm like, I'll learn it. I'm going to read the book.
I know you're not kidding. That's why I'm laughing. I make myself read like 4 chapters at a time. Like that's not restful. Like, again, do as I say, not as I've done, because it's been hard. It has been a hard season of transition that has been made harder by my inability to hear the prompting of the Lord to take care of myself so that I can take care of others, and so that I can just be free from all of this unnecessary pressure that I put on myself. Yeah. I'm thankful for the season. I'm definitely in the ... Remains to be seen how this is going to play out. But doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years, of running myself ragged to make all the things happen. And so we're taking a different approach, and we are dialing it back, and we're going at it from a different way with the Lord leading. And there's no bow. There's no bow on the end of this podcast. I was thinking, how are we going to end it? Like, ta-da, I graduated therapy. No, I didn't. Like, I'm just getting started. I graduated.
I'm like, how long is it going to take? And she's like, I don't know. I can't tell you that.
I don't know who she is, but I like her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I think you're so right that you've shared your heart. And I think a ton of people can relate to not having the answers they're praying for, not being able to see around the next bend, things not turning out like we had hoped that they would, or seeking a certain transition or change for, I think a lot of people felt trapped in the pandemic, and the move was a way to feel like you got out of the box. And, the thing is that everywhere you go, there you are. And so when we seek transition to escape things, we have to take ourselves with us.
It's going to follow you. Like the same junk. You're like, I thought this was the Colorado thing. No, this is a Kindra thing. This is a Kindra thing that still needs to be submitted to the foot of the cross and let Jesus heal this place in me.
That's so honest. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's so true. Like thinking you're going to move here and get to experience like a leisurely drive through the country roads because you live in Kansas now. No, I'm still running a mile a minute, like trying to get as much checked off my to-do list. Here's a legitimate place of growth, which I would love to offer this as an idea for your busy, attempting overachievers who don't take care of themselves and end up in ER with panic attacks. I don't know, maybe it's a small group of us, but I hid away my planner for the summer, like my day planner where I do, like, I get up and like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm like hour by hour, I do that during the school year, and I do it all the time. And I just felt like I needed a freedom this summer to not do that. And that might be like,
it's a big deal, guys.
Wow. Yay for you. But making changes that you've never done before, like, just try. It's feeling good. Like, I just would encourage people to try new things, and maybe a few like takeaways, ending points. Check in with yourself after the whole pandemic and the last few years that has affected everybody in a different way, because there isn't one person I know who wasn't affected, as I said earlier, and that took a toll on us mentally. Physically, yes, to a lot of people, but mentally and emotionally, there was a lot of isolation. There was a lot of feeling trapped, as you said. That constant adrenaline coursing through your body did not do it any favors. So check in on yourself. Don't misrepresent the intensity of a transition in your life. It's a grief. It's something you're going to have to grieve. You're going to have to process through. I'm not qualified to tell you how to do that. Like I said, I'm like, how do you journal? I'm Googling this, right? But I think to say, oh, I'm fine. Well, I said I was fine for months and months until I clearly wasn't. And my body's like, if I legitimately have a nervous breakdown, will you please stop? And will you give me some attention? And be willing to try things that feel very uncomfortable for your natural bent in your personality. Because doing the same thing again and again it's getting you to the same place. So I'm willing to try some new things.
That's so
to feel
good.
Better.
Thank you, friend. Thank you for coming
Thank
on
you
the
for having me.
Hopecast and sharing your story and being willing to share just your heart and your life out here, and knowing that it's in the in-between and how powerful that is for people to hear that it's okay to be in the in-between. And I love that we got to record this little portion of your life in time, and I look forward to seeing what the Lord does. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on the Hopecast. And I'm really grateful to share my friend and our friendship, and just, I think her story has a lot of value and can connect for a lot of people who, regardless of your personality or the type of achiever that you are, or if you're not that kind of an achiever, you know what it feels like to be messy, to be undone. And we often feel like we have to hide that, or that we make a cute meme for Instagram instead, and not show people that we are messy, or we're hurting, or we're in need. And it's truly a human experience. And so I just encourage you, as you listen to this, to tune in to yourself, to your story, to your needs, and just see what the Lord is leading you into, and where He wants to offer you opportunities to rest, opportunities to grow, opportunities to heal. And I'm just glad to have had this time with you. Thank you for the honor of having me in your house, and for listening to me and Kindra today. And just know that you are prayed for and thought of often. And I'm so grateful to have you. Everybody, this has been part part 2 of my interview with Kindra McNamee on the Hopecast with Rachael Flick.
You've been listening to the Hopecast with Rachael Flick. To find out more, go to rachaelflick.com. While there, you can discover more information about all of the platforms that this podcast is on. If you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, we would appreciate if you would subscribe and leave us a review. Also, another great way to stay informed with the Hopecast is to follow Rachael on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Just click on the social media icons at the top of the page and you'll be directed to Rachael's social media sites. While you're online, you can book Rachael for your next speaking engagement. Her inspiring message will sure to engage and touch the heart of your audience at your next conference, church event, or business function. Go to rachaelflick.com to book her today. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time for another edition of the Hopecast with Rachael Flick.